Welcome to an avenue where women can discover their worth, experience new beginnings, and feel what that lady boss feels like. Where women come together to empower one another, sharing stories collectively to influence women around the globe, to influence women to shine bright like diamonds. We are women, women of all colors and creeds, opening up our doors to and for one another to maximize our potential and to bring our dreams to reality so that we can sparkle with confidence. Where beauty begins the moment you decide to be yourself and where failure is not an option. Now's the time for you to go for it. She Talks, providing an avenue where women can share their voice, innovate their thoughts, and influence the she that's inside us all.
So yeah, we didn't have any expectations, and generally I'm very result oriented, so I want to see like the reward after like doing like, you know, working hard and stuff. But FINO has definitely made me step back on that end because obviously, you know, it takes time and things don't happen overnight, and FINO has taught me patience. So like 4 months into our first shipment, we weren't really looking back at like the inventory or any of that. We're just like focused on selling, and we're like, okay, what do we need to do next? How can we learn in this industry? What are the next steps, or who can we talk to? All of that. So we're just focused on that, and we are selling and selling. 4 months in, we were sold out. Like a week later, we were like, wait, we need to order more. How do we do this? We didn't expect that. We didn't expect it for sure not to happen in 4 months. And we were thinking if it did happen, it would take a year. So we had time to think about our next shipment, or, you know, like think about like maybe getting a different kind of packaging or anything. We're like, nope, we need to order right now. And we were kind of cramming.
I guess it was a good problem. When we started thinking deeper into FINO Tequila, we were like, okay, it is a male-dominated industry, because when you think of tequila, it's a macho drink. You always think of men in the mindset. And the minute we said we're going to elevate it, we're going to make it sophisticated, very fine, it kind of brought some kind of feminism into the whole aspect and the idea of FINO. So we said we're going to create a drink that's going to be consumed and enjoyed by both men and women. So how are we going to do it? From the packaging, from the style, we said we're going to keep it very minimalistic. It doesn't have to be this big giant bottle in a skull. It doesn't have to stick to the Mexican trend. It's going to be a very traditional tequila for modern people. So we started thinking more along those lines. And definitely there are challenges, and I believe challenges are there in every industry. But if you want to create something exceptional and go after your dreams, gender becomes irrelevant. One of the things we told ourselves is, if we can do it, anybody can do it. We're going to pave way for people like us that want to build something, go after their dreams, and achieve it. Once you think of it from that perspective, it doesn't matter what the industry is and who is dominating it. We're all equal. We're all in the same playing field. We all have the same fears when you're starting a new business. It doesn't matter you're a man or a woman. It's a small business. You have your challenges. The challenges are, okay, financial challenges. What are we going to do? Time constraints, like we're going to order a product. Now we have built this brand and we're building this brand, and all of a sudden you can't run out of stock. How are you going to manage your sales? How are you going to manage your inventory, your stock? Those become priority at that time, and not really whether it's a male dominated or not. It was definitely a steep learning curve for us. And we told ourselves, we said, if we don't know an answer, just accept it.
Just say we don't know it, and we'll find out. You know, the next time we don't know an answer, we'll know it. You know, we'll learn from the things that we don't know.
Every meeting, every tasting event was a learning process. We kind of build upon our previous experiences. And so I think the challenges were the same that we faced, that anybody else would have faced at that point, whether it's so we don't like to say it's a male-dominated industry, because I think everybody is equal. We're all having the same challenges. And so it was very interesting. We just have to we have to follow our instincts and kind of build that self-confidence and keep going after it, because failure is not an option. And
at the same time, and on the other hand, obviously women-owned and small businesses are something that everyone wants to support nowadays, and been very helpful for us, and kind of like revolving our business around being women-owned. A lot of times you think that in certain situations, because you're a woman, because you own a business, because you're a mom, you do all of these things, you're multitasking at a time, that, you know, like people can think that you aren't capable of handling everything at once, or aren't capable of being that very like strict business, you know, like having that strict business mindset. So on the other hand, a lot of people are starting to support small businesses, support women-owned businesses in general, which is very helpful for us, and we like welcome it. You know, we're like very excited to know that we're getting so much support because of it. At the same time, there are situations where, because you're women-owned, you're kind of looked at that you're not as capable of handling a business, being that strict and straightforward in business, as well as being a mom, and as well as having all these different personalities at the same time. So you could be kind of like said that, okay, you're good at this more than business, or, you know, so when you have that, obviously you are gonna have those situations that some people are gonna think that way and some people aren't. But because of that, we're taking those opportunities and kind of switching that around, and we're gonna stand out from it, because we're gonna stand out as being women-owned. We're gonna stand out as being small business. We're kind of local to Illinois right now, or Chicago. We're in 5 other states. We're still growing, you know. So we're still at that small business stage, women-owned, especially being minorities here. So knowing that we have that kind of like backbone of everyone else supporting us, it's kind of really nice. For me, it's like very motivational. Like, it pushes me to do better, because I want to break those barriers for everyone else who are kind of on the same boat as us, like going into an industry, not knowing anything about it. I studied information systems and health systems management in college. So obviously I don't know anything about hospitality business, or like anything about liquor. I came out of college, I mean, I just drank because it was alcohol, you know? So I came out of college going into the business of it. So it's definitely made me realize, become more serious about it, like serious about how I want to present the brand, how the brand should be, you know, showcased.
I think what's even more important is also people's mindset at this time. You know, everybody wants to support small businesses. It's they don't really pay much attention to price, but they pay a lot of attention to the story, the people behind the product. I think people have become priority over price. And so they're like, who is building this brand? Who is behind this brand? You don't have to be a celebrity anymore to really build a brand. I think, I mean, take us for example. We don't have a legacy in Mexico. We're not coming from a distillery family. And so for us to really start something, we learned quickly that people are willing to give us a try. Mm-hmm. You know, pun intended, we say, give us a shot. Why not? You know? So I think that's really key, to be truthful and genuine to your story. Product comes standard. You can't have a bad product. So once you have an exceptional product, then it's more to do with people behind the product, the story. And so I think we're learning a lot of that, especially with COVID and everything going on in the world right now. Stores are closed, and so everybody's shopping online. So when you shop online, you're not looking at the price, you're looking at, okay, what's that product all about? Who's behind the product? So many new small businesses are coming up every single day, and I think it's that age and trend where people are willing to support each other, build ourselves as a community. And I think that's one of the things I think our FINO story wants to represent, the community. We don't have to be a celebrity. We're going to bring the support of people, support of the community, and build our brand. Yeah.
Definitely grow as a whole and together, because I mean, that's what everything's all about now. Helping each other, supporting each other, being like, yeah, you go girl, like you do, like, you know, your business, you like help each other out, you know. So I think it's going at the right track. I think everyone's kind of coming together because of all of that. Like Jana mentioned, you don't have to have any like big background in order to start anything. You could be anywhere, have your goals aligned, have your motivation, have the commitment, dedication to like your brand, your product, believe in it and know what you're doing, what you're selling. You have to know your product better than what anyone else says or knows it, so yeah.
There's definitely a shift from competition to collaboration. Everybody has to collaborate. Multiple industries have to collaborate with each other. People have to collaborate with each other, and we all have to help each other grow. And that's how we can all win. We always say it's a win-win for all of us. It's not something, if we're single-minded and we're only going to think of what's benefit to us, we're never going to grow.
And it could just be a short-term thing then. You know, at that point, if you're just going to think about yourself, it's a short-term gain for you. But when you think about everyone as a whole story, like a win-win-win, everyone's happy, then it's like more long-term. You're going to make longer-lasting relationships in business and outside and in general. At the same time, a lot of people ask us about like, oh, who's your competition in like the tequila world and all of that. And we always say we don't really have competition, because I say that this like tequila market has a place for everyone. You know, there's so many brands. How many? I think it's
3,000
3,000
tequila brands around. This is like an ocean. Anybody can fish. There's enough fish for everybody. You just have to know where to go, how to fish, and go for it. Be persistent and consistent in your effort, and then you can fish. Anybody can fish. I think the biggest difference between why is a women-owned business more popular? People don't call it as a men-owned business, but women-owned, right? I think right from our birth, women by default are designed to multitask. We wear multiple hats. We become a daughter, we become a mom, we become a granddaughter, we become a wife. We are caretakers. Caretaker of the family and caretaker of the business. So when we are having multiple hats and we're multitasking constantly and we're competing at the level a man is in the same industry, we feel like men by default are focused on that business and they're extremely successful in that business. But when it comes to women, we are also focused equally on that business, but we also have to do other things that come along as being a woman by default. So I think the biggest thing is to support each other and to grow with each other, and that's the reason we feel women-owned businesses are even more popular, because it is something additional we do. We compete with the men equally, but we also take care of multiple things. As a mom, I have an 11-year-old child, so I have a meeting. At the same time, I want to make sure when I leave for the meeting, the house is taken care of, the food is taken care of for the child, and I want to make sure he's completed his homework, or there's a test. And kids will always remain kids. They're like constantly like, I forgot this, I forgot that, or oh, I have a test tomorrow. At 7 o'clock in the morning, you're getting ready to school and you're like, oh mama, I have to like drop this off in school and I forgot to buy it. And you're like, okay, So a lot of times it's a huge challenge, because FINO is also my baby and my baby is my baby, But I think it's just that passion and the drive that has to keep you motivated, and to have the right team. I can always call upon Sonali and say, I can't do this right now, can you take care of it? And she'll be like, you got it, no worries. So I think the support system becomes very important to be successful in a business as a woman, because we are constantly working and taking care of multiple things. There are days you come back at 9 p.m. at night and you're like so tired, you just want to have a glass of FINO, but your kid is there waiting to eat dinner. So I think those are the challenges, but I think with the right team, right support system, spouse and family and dad and grandparents, anybody, friends, the support system is key to be successful as a woman entrepreneur. And the team, our team is fabulous. We love our team, the girls, and we have a blast. We truly have a blast working for FINO.
I always say Jana's like a mom boss. I was like, I don't know how you do it. I don't know how I'm gonna do it when I'm like, there. But like for me right now, I'm, just kind of graduated from college, early work years. I'm still learning. I'm at that age where I'm like still like going out, you know, like hanging out with friends. Like it's more like of that versus having more responsibilities. But I would say FINO definitely brought a lot more responsibility to me at a younger age, because we started this when I was 23, 24. So I did have, you know, a sense of responsibility, a sense of purpose. I was like, everyone's like, oh, you know, like what should we do for fun? Or like be all like, oh, what brings happiness to you? And I'm like, honestly, like doing FINO or like seeing it progress, you know, like a year, 2 years. So, I mean, on my camera roll, I have over like 24,000 pictures, so millennial of me. But I was like going through all the years, and I was like looking at like 2016, 2017, our first pictures, our first meeting, we would like take selfies. I have videos of our first shipment coming out, and we're like looking at that, kind of reminiscing, and we're like, wow, we've come a long way. Even like from the like picture selfie, I could see myself like just matured, you know. So I think everything just comes, everything just kind of falls into place. I'm really starting to believe that whatever happens, happens for a good reason. Obviously there are gonna be times that things happen and you're in situations that you don't wanna be in, that you feel like upset about, frustrated. Sometimes I wanna just like break down and cry, you know? So you're gonna be in those situations when you begin your journey into your passion, whatever you're doing. It could be your business, it could be a store, it could be a brand, jewelry, anything that you're doing. You're gonna have struggles, but it's how you're just gonna overcome with it, kind of learn from every situation.
I think definitely what we want to tell, share, or motivate our other peers is, like Sonali alluded, life is not a bed of roses. We all have our frustrations, we all have our failures. So people ask, you say failure is not an option, doesn't mean you cannot fail at all. And we go back to our Apollo 13 story. What is failure? What do you consider as failure? When you fail, is that the end of the world? How do you spring back? How do you get back in action? The not giving up attitude is what we mean by failure is not an option. You don't fail. Just because you failed, you had a bad day, you can't cry and say it's the end of the world. And that's what business teaches every single person. Failure is not an option for any one of us when we don't have the not giving up mindset. And so FINO is not just a commodity. FINO is a mindset. FINO is a lifestyle brand that we want every single person to relate to follow, to celebrate life, to enjoy life with a glass of FINO.
Yes.